Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, my name is Isa. Thank you so much for being here. So for today's video, I wanted to share my favorite and most useful iPad Pro apps and the apps that I think that are worth buying the iPad Pro or the iPad in general. So if you're wondering, I have the iPad Pro 11-inch. I've had this for a couple of months now and I love it. So I wanted to share my favorite apps, and if you already have an iPad, these are must-haves that you need to get because they are that good. And with number one, I am pretty sure most people know about this app, but the app is Procreate. So this is one of my favorites, if not my favorite app to use on the iPad, because it has such a variety of things that you can do with it. If you like drawing or editing or writing, lettering, you can do so many things with Procreate. Procreate, it's only $10, and I say only because it's a one-time purchase and you can do so much stuff with Procreate. And honestly, just this app alone makes the iPad that much worth it. Okay, the next app that I wanted to talk about is GoodNotes. Okay, so I know there have been past versions of GoodNotes. I used to have the number 4 and now I use GoodNotes 5. I do have a whole video on how I use GoodNotes 5. It's a walkthrough to GoodNotes for beginners and how you can use it. If you want to go watch that, I'm going to put that right here. So getting back to the topic, GoodNotes is something that it doesn't matter who you are, you can use GoodNotes every single day. So personally, I use GoodNotes as a college student to take my notes, and also I use it for journaling. And I also have a digital planner so that I can edit. So those are the main things that I use it for, but you can use it for so many things. They have notebook, you can create notebooks, folders, you can import images, you can scan documents, and you can also share folders, documents, or notebooks or whatever you have on GoodNotes to another person or to another device that you already have GoodNotes. For example, I have my digital planner on my iPad and on my MacBook, and they connect, so every time I change something in my MacBook, it automatically changes the document on the iPad as well. And GoodNotes 5 is $7.99. Okay, the next app that I wanted to talk about is Notion. I know a lot of people use Notion on their computers and also on their iPads, but if you're thinking of buying a computer or an iPad, you can totally buy an iPad and use Notion there as well. So I use Notion to plan out my classes and to plan out my YouTube videos. Notion in the iPad is a must-have, and if you have it on your iPad and on your MacBook or on your iPhone, it can basically be a digital planner. You can basically create pages or notebooks. For example, you can put a table, a timeline, a calendar, a list of things, a gallery of photos. You can insert PDF files, images, videos. As I said, this is an app that you can use for literally everything, and I do use it every single day. So the next app that I'm going to talk about is iMovie. So if you're a person that edits videos or makes videos in general, having iMovie in your iPad, because not only iMovie is free when you have these devices, but I think it's kind of practical that you have it on your iPad and do everything right there, and this could be an app that makes you want to buy the iPad. So I wanted to mention some kind of basic apps that pretty much everyone has. Having an iPad can be very practical because they are very compact and not as big as a computer. So for example, I like to use my iPad a lot to watch YouTube. I also like it to watch Netflix, Amazon Prime. Those apps are very practical to use on the iPad because it's smaller and you can practically lay around anywhere. And personally, I think it's easier to have an iPad and lay in your bed and watch Netflix or Amazon Prime than watching it with your computer. That's another reason why YouTube, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, all of these apps are very practical to download on the iPad. Okay, the next app that I wanted to talk about is PDF Expert. And if you're a college student, high school student, or taking a class of whatever and you want to download PDFs, this app will save your life. And this is one of my favorite apps to download PDFs so I can edit them. And what I mean by edit them is, for example, is highlighting a book for a class, for example. It's very practical to have it on your iPad so you can highlight it and also have it right there on the screen if you want to take notes. Okay, so the next app that I'm going to talk about, and I think it's so useful for a lot of people, the Books app. If you're a person who is looking for a device on where you can read, I would recommend the iPad because the Books app is so good. I have used it multiple times and I still use it, and they have so many great books and it's so easy to use. You just go to the bookstore and type up whatever book you want and just buy it, and then it's going to appear on your library and you can read as many books as you want. Okay, so there are 2 more apps to go. The next app is Word. So if you're a student, if you work, I do think that this is a must-have app for the iPad because, as I said before, the iPad is a smaller device than your computer. So if you want another option for you to write your documents, you can use Word. Okay, so the last app that I'm going to mention today is Lightroom. I know a lot of people use Lightroom on their phone, and I also use it on my phone, but I've noticed and I've discovered that using Lightroom on your iPad gives you a lot more space to edit and to look at your photos, because personally the iPhone screen can get a little bit too small when editing, so I do struggle sometimes while editing my photos on the iPhone. Editing the photos on the iPad gives you a lot of space so you can see the photo. Well guys, this is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got some new tips, or I hope you found some new apps that you can download on your iPad. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!